This episode is titled Prophecy of Doom. It came out on October 6th, 1992. Directed by Frank Parr, friend and guest of the show. Story by Dennis Marks, written by Sean Catherine Derrick, and animation by ACOM Productions, featuring Kevin Conroy as Batman, Bruce Wayne, Efren Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred and the Wayne Enterprises security guard, Michael DeBars as Nostromos, Michael DeBars as Nostromos, Aaron Kincaid as Lucas, Heather Locklear as Lisa, and William Wyndham as Ethan. Honourable mentions here, director Frank Parr has been credited on previous episodes, as well as being a guest on this podcast, so we won't need to go into that credit again. But if you haven't heard that episode, go back a few episodes to check out our interview with Frank Parr. Writer Sean Catherine Derrick has also been credited in a previous episode, but as a reminder, she was the producer and story editor of Batman the Animated Series before Alan Burnett came on board. Dennis Marks, who conceived the story of this episode, passed away in 2006 at the age of 73. He was known for writing Tom and Jerry the movie. Money is such a beautiful word. It is. We watched that so many times.
Money's fantastic.
We never knew many of the words. If anyone out there knows exactly what we're talking about, good for you, because that movie was great.
Oh, it's a great song.
It's a great song. He also wrote 3 episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Jetsons movie, 39 episodes of the Beatles 60s cartoon show. Did you know that existed?
Nope.
There was a Beatles 60s cartoon show. This guy wrote 39 episodes of it. He also wrote 7 episodes of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, as well as being credited as the creator of the character Firestar, who starred in that show next to Spider-Man and Iceman.
What are the Beatles doing in a cartoon? Are they like in a mystery machine and solving mysteries?
I don't know. I just saw a black and white cartoon image of them.
We've got a flat tire and we've got to stop before we go to a gig. Look over there, John. Wait, no, I'm John. I'm talking to myself. Look over there, Paul. There's a man in a spooky mask.
Oh well, we better go stop this investigation.
It's been a hard day's night.
That's what Ringo would say in the background.
Shut up, Ringo.
Ringo only has one line of dialogue in every episode.
Looks like it's been another hard day's night.
Yeah, he says that over and over again.
And just smiles.
Michael DeBars, who plays Nostromos, is also known as the host of Little Steven's Underground Garage on SiriusXM Radio. He is heard by more than 6 million listeners 5 days a week. He also voiced Jackson Wheel on Spider-Man the Animated Series, and he's been in episodes of shows such as CSI or Bones, and was also the touring singer for the Duran Duran spin-off group, The Power Station. So lots of random facts there for the voice of Nostromos. Aaron Kincaid, who plays Lucas in this episode, will be credited in a future episode of this podcast, as he is the voice of Killer Croc. So we will wait until we reach the episode where Killer Croc first appears to credit him. William Wyndham, who played Ethan, passed away in 2012 at age 88 and was also known for playing the President in Escape from Planet of the Apes, Mr. Hatfield in Uncle Buck, and Mr. Gilmer in To Kill a Mockingbird. So some random but well-known pieces of work there for William Wyndham. And then finally, Heather Locklear, who plays Lisa, is known for playing Amanda in Melrose Place, Abby Arcane in Return of the Swamp Thing, and she also plays herself in Wayne's World 2.
Okay.
Fun facts out of my utility belt. When Batman fights in the Nostromos Observatory, the music is based upon or direct homage to Gustav Holst's symphonic piece, Mars from the Planets. Which leads me to my question, what did you think of the music in this episode? Because it was very distinct.
I liked the opening number on the cruise ship where it was jazz, like, hey, we're having a good time and we're rich on a cruise ship, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, yeah. And then after that, it was all just a bit like, it's a horror, whoa, suspense.
Yeah, it was a lot of like dun-dun-duns, wasn't it? And stuff like that. It reminded me a lot of Back to the Future, actually. There were quite a few similar sounding pieces of music from that movie where like Alan Silvestri does this like almost like military march in Back to the Future at one point, and it sounds very much like the Nostromos theme as well. This was already considered a very average episode, but the creators disliked its terrible animation by ACOM. ACOM gets a bad rap, and there's definitely episodes where they don't look great, But I didn't think
great.
I thought the animation looked very good in this episode.
I thought there was a lot of really great design. Like, I love all the Art Deco going on in Wayne Enterprises. Like, even the elevator button he pushes has this great Art Deco design around it.
Yes.
And I thought the whole elevator scene was really well animated. I like the fight that he has with the guy in black and white on top of the rafters.
The spotlight.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. This was a very well animated episode.
I totally agree. I think ACOM gets a bad rap sometimes because they produced a good piece of animation here. When you mentioned that elevator sequence, when Bruce Wayne gets tossed around after the elevator drops, he immediately gets up and starts hitting the button. And I was thinking, why would you do that? And then I thought, actually, that's exactly what you would do, right? Because that's your only sense of control in this situation. Mm-hmm. It's that's the only thing I can, push to make this stop. So I thought that was pretty good.
It was a bit ridiculous, though, that he suddenly shot out of the elevator as Batman, right? That's to assume that he wears a full Batman costume on him in the Bruce Wayne kit. Where is he keeping that cape, bud? Is it, wrapped around his torso? You know?
I agree. Also, he might, it was a regular day at work for Bruce. He wasn't I might be Batman. He was just going into the office. So, yeah, that means he wears that costume all the time. He must be so hot.
I get Spider-Man wearing his costume all the time, right? It's just spandex. But Batman's got full gloves, big old boots, a pointy cape and cowl. There is a lot going on with a utility belt full of gizmos and gadgets. How on earth? And look, maybe that's why he was thank God these gigantic slacks and big suit jackets are in fashion. Otherwise, there's no way I'd be able to hide as Batman.
Also, when he grapples out of the elevator, my first thought was, if that guy who just tried to kill Bruce Wayne was still watching to make sure that Bruce was dead, and he sees Batman come out of the elevator, he's like, okay, well, Batman's Bruce Wayne then. This is way more valuable of information.
Yeah. I thought that he was going to be oh, I was saved by Batman, to play it off I'm not Batman because Batman saved me in the elevator. So never ask me if I'm Batman because this is clear evidence. And then someone in the background's just yeah, but that means that you could have just been Batman and got out the elevator yourself. And you sitting there no, that's not what it means.
Nostromos,
you're still wearing the utility belt. Whoopsie.
Nostromos has global clocks, but they are way off. The London clock gives 11:08, the New York clock gives 7:22, and the Tokyo clock gives 11:32. The correct times for New York and Tokyo would be 7:08 and 20:08, respectively. So his clocks are way off. I don't know if you saw that in the background.
Yeah, he's not around there to check on the clocks, is he?
And why does he need to know what time it is in London and Tokyo? What does that have to do with anything? And also, New York is mentioned.
What's the business thing?
I guess, but what business is he's just prophesizing? He's starting a cult. Why do you have to be I need to know how my cult is doing in Tokyo? What time is it? Can I call them?
Maybe he's got a worldwide operation.
Well, that would be a way better plot than what we got, but we'll get into that. And then finally, Nostromos says he sees a bad moon rising, a reference to the Creedence Clearwater song of Bad Moon Rising.
Don't go out tonight. It's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the left. It's on the right, sir. On the right.
Imagine if he's a DJ and he only plays songs that have reference to cults and magic and stuff. He's this is your brother, Nostromos, coming in here. We've got a hot song for you now. We're going to play Magic Carpet Ride. Here we go.
You don't know. My brothers, I've just been warned that there is a psycho killer amongst us here. So get on the dance floor before you die. I'm available for birthday parties and weddings.
And now my favorite, Across the Universe.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Nostromo.
Nostromo.
Oh.
I also do bar mitzvahs.
All right, what did you think of this episode, bud?
I feel like I have never seen this episode ever.
Really?
It did not ring any bells for me at all.
Okay, yeah, it's not one on my rewatch list. I've got to be honest, I haven't seen it in a very long time. I thought the animation was better than I expected. But what did you think of the story and the character of Nostromos?
I enjoyed the first 2 acts very much, and then I thought the third act was a bit weak.
I agree. I was actually like, wow, I'm enjoying this more than I thought I was. And then that third act really lets it down, and I was trying to figure out, why does it let it down so much? And the only conclusion I came to was that Bruce's infiltration of it was not as, like, I don't know, it didn't have as much juice as I was hoping it was going to have by the time we got to the third act, because I loved how Bruce was like, okay, I don't buy this at all, but I'm going to pretend to buy it in order to then infiltrate it as Bruce Wayne, because I like seeing more Bruce Wayne than Batman in this episode. It was very clever how he's like, actually, me being Bruce Wayne is going to help solve this crime way quicker than being Batman. But so I was expecting more of a payoff where Bruce was part of the cult and like infiltrating it. But that never really paid off, did it? It was just kind of like he was just another fool of the cult and Batman came in and saved the day.
I don't think it needed this big planet action scene, right?
No,
like that was very strange to me. And also, I love that the whole place is falling down, and that guy is just tied up watching the whole time. He's not even squirming or anything. He's just like deadpan sitting there. Like, yep, that's my daughter tied up. She's gonna die. Oh, she's about to be chopped in half. No, Batman saved her. Ah, good job, Batman.
I think that guy is one of the dumbest characters I've ever seen in this show, and that's probably why. Like, he has no brain cells. He just like instantly buys that Nostromos is this powerful, all-seeing being.
No, he didn't instantly. He did have to have a long list of his premonitions did this, and this, and then Batman had that good joke of being like, oh, he'd make a good stockbroker. So like there was a laundry list of stuff that he did predict.
I guess I was thinking though, if someone predicted that many like disasters, I'd be like, dude, you're definitely behind this.
I'd be like, I'm just a lovable DJ, available for local birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, and weddings.
I don't cater either. I think
paid up front as well.
But like, even Bruce caught on. He was just like, yeah, this dude's definitely suspicious just by hearing that one story. And
there's a great moment where Bruce turns and looks at them with like the most pissed off face when he goes to the meeting for the first time, and he's like turns around and he like points at Bruce like, you're in danger, and then like his glass blows up. I don't know if it's around then, but like there's just a shot of Bruce Wayne in profile, and he just turns and he gives the biggest stink eye to the camera, like you're making this all up, and I'm going to prove you wrong.
Well, I like that, and I also like how he immediately knows that it's all bullshit because he studied with magicians when he traveled the world, so like he gets the tricks, and he instantly knew, like when he was talking to Alfred, that the glass shattered because of some sort of like vibration gun or something that was targeted. So I like how he broke that down quickly. You also mentioned how he had...
Your sidekick is a previously arrested special effects guy. Like, come on. Like, this is a con.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think everyone in Gotham who is conned by these people is so fucking dumb. And
well, a lot of people get conned in this world.
Yeah, I guess so. They do, yeah. There was a lot of cheese in this episode. Cheesy lines. Like you said, he'd make a heck of a stockbroker. Funny, but cheesy. Bruce even says, like, sounds great, but I'd have to check my horoscope to be sure. I do like
I kind of liked all those jokes.
Did you? I do like when he went, psychic vibrations, Alfred, and like does this like fake creepy voice.
Alfred's like, I don't find that funny at all, sir. I believe in all of that stuff. I've been trying to conjure up the spirits of your dead parents when you go off on adventures.
Oh my god, that's so dark. Batman's like, Alfred, that's way too far, man. You've gone way too far.
Come on, join me on the Ouija board.
Did you fancy me? And he's just like pushing towards yes.
Oh no, it's Thomas. We don't want to hear from you, Thomas. We would like to hear from Martha.
Are your cakes still hot in the afterlife?
Can't talk about Martha's cakes again. Bruce is like, are you seriously trying to summon the spirit of my dead mother? Because of her arse?
Well, sir, if the mood fits, here we go. There were so many corny lines, like, you're about to fall out of orbit, Batman, and even the newspaper at the end says, DA predicts life term in psychic case. And I'm like, guys, how many, like, puns are you going to make around
That's
psychic?
how the machine works.
I guess. I enjoyed, like I said, how Bruce is immediately on the fact that Nostromos is fake. And when he was at that first cult meeting, he's like a person, you know, when you show someone a movie you really love and they just don't get it and they're like asking questions or they're like making comments and you end up not liking the movie as much because you're like, you are ruining this for me. And he was ruining it for every one of those cult people there when he was asking questions like, what does that mean? And he's just
You've definitely done
what?
that to me before.
Like with what?
I tried to show you on my birthday like 5 years ago, my favorite zombie movie, Day of the Dead, and you were just not paying attention. And then when you did, you were like, this looks really cheap and the acting really sucks. I'm like, this is my favorite fucking zombie movie and it's my birthday. You know what? You don't get to see it. And then we went to the shops instead and bought more beer. Such a thing.
It's pretty sexist to call it a brotherhood when you clearly have loads of women in your cult as well, or at least you allow women in your cult. I was like, what happened? Yeah, he's like, the brotherhood! And like, I saw like a bunch of women in that crowd.
I thought brotherhood's more of like a blanket term though, rather than a literal term.
No, I believe it's pretty literal. I mean, it's the same with like fraternities. It's brotherhood and then sisterhood for sororities.
Yeah, but then you can have like brothers at arms, and that would still be men and women, right?
I don't think that they call it brothers in arms anymore. Now the women are in the military, I don't think that they do.
And then there's that video game Fallout, there's the Brotherhood of Steel, and there's women in that group.
Oh, well, it's always seemed literal to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that seems...
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe, and we don't know. We don't have any research to prove it, so that's all conjecture. Batman discovers Nostromos' real name is Carl Fowler, and then goes on to discover that his right-hand man's name is Lucas. Just Lucas. And I was like, where were the writers on that one? Like, how lazy are you? Where you're like, okay, so we got this guy, Carl Fowler, who's now Nostromos, and his henchman is Lucas. What's his surname? Nah, I don't give a shit. Fucking nothing. Just Lucas. We're done.
It's Lucas Mucus.
Ah, that's gross. I don't like that.
I'm Mr. Mucus.
Why were you fired, Lucas Mucus?
Everything.
I'm fucking Lucas Mucus this week.
You are Mr. Lucas Mucus.
So, my love that Batman moment is when he catches up to the masked guy who tried to kill him in the elevator, and he backhands him in the face, like he thinks he's gotten away, but Batman's right there in front of him, and then he just walks towards him in shadow on the rooftop. I was like, yeah, I love that Batman.
Yeah,
That's
I like that
great.
too, but I also really liked the black and white fight on the top, where they're in super shadow.
I did too, and it was going to be my love that Batman, because there's a great scene where Batman jumps down and he like kicks Lucas and he says like, your turn to see the light, and then like kicks him. I'm like, that was pretty cool. I like that whole thing, but it's kind of ruined because then the camera pans over to Lucas, who's like bent over, and he's got the biggest curvaceous ass I've ever seen, and the light's just hitting it. He's got some fucking cake on him, man. Like, yeah, that is a booty, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of
like, Martha, is that you?
Oh no, it's just some man named Lucas Mucus. So yeah, Alfred is also so shocked that Bruce gave the cult $10 million, and I was thinking, like, is he mad because he didn't get any of that money? Like, are you serious?
That's more than my fucking annual salary, sir. Like,
Yeah.
I know we have a deep history, all right? I know I'm practically your father figure. I raised you as a child. I'm in love with Martha Wayne. But, goddamn, 10 million? You've been paying me $25,000 a year for the past 20 years.
That's so low. Oh my god.
Really? I spent that last night getting wasted.
It's like that was the annual salary like 50 years ago. He just never checked like how everything's increased. And he even says to think I was fretting over the electric bill, which at first I thought was like a silly joke, but then I realized like the Batcave must use so much electric.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That the juice that it's taken from the city, like that must be an insane amount. I would be fretting too, because I'd look at the bill and it's like 30 million a month. You'd be like, what? That's crazy.
He must have a super extended LAN cable to connect to his Wi-Fi router because there's no way he's getting good Wi-Fi down in Baghdad, right? The signal must be terrible down there.
He's trying to play like Angry Birds and he can't because of the Wi-Fi. Sir, no, come on. No, over in this part of the cave, there's a better signal over here by the little cavern over here.
I love your reference to a video game is Angry Birds, you old man.
What? Because he's old.
Playing Angry Birds. What was this, 2009? Was he playing on his Nintendo DS? Do you think Batman's had a wank on the Bat computer?
100%. There's no doubt.
100%.
I think he's got his little wank bank of images. Like, okay, right. we got today? We got Talia. We got Selena.
Oh, he's wanking to people like it's not porn, like people he knows.
Yeah, he's like, okay, what else we got?
That's creepy.
Satana. Oh yeah, and I'll show you a magic trick. Now you see it. Now you don't.
Oh my god. Or do you think he just does a complete like? Every monitor is different porn, right? Like, because there's like 100 monitors in the Bat, so he's just like wanking. He's looking at one screen like and he looks at another like and it's just like, oh my god!
Alfred comes down and he tries to turn off all the images. He's like, oh my god, there's too many.
Trying to close every tablet.
Yeah,
like clicking the mouse.
Alfred, don't look. He's definitely had plenty of wanks down there. There's probably they probably replace the keyboard once a month.
Oh, poor Alfred. Not worth this 25k, yeah, that's for sure.
25k?
Do you think Alfred's had a wank on the Bat computer? Just as he just wanked to his fireplace. Just finishes in the flames.
I think I saw a titty. Oh.
Do you think someone has wanked into a fire in a fireplace? And what even happens?
Again, 100% yes.
Does the spunk just make a noise like tss?
Oh, and the smell, you're like, ooh, fish.
God, just men. Oh, disgusting. You think about
There's
it.
Like 100% someone has. If you ask me, do you think a guy has wanked and then insert blank place? The answer is yes, 100%. Right. Because men are gross. And definitely someone out there has done that. At least one person has done that.
Do you think that's a kink? Someone's kink is like fire and they wank into fireplaces?
Oh, it's called stoking the fire.
Ew.
Or stroking the fire.
Stroking the fire. Ew. That's my kink, sir. You'll be surprised what you can see in flames.
All right, so the whole planetarium fight at the end was okay.
Don't yuck my yum, sir.
The whole planetarium fight at the end was okay. I never really felt like there was any danger in that sequence. Yeah, it wasn't great. And then at the end, Bruce enjoys tea with Lisa and Ethan and still has to keep up the facade that he was tricked by Nostromos as well. And then he just randomly quotes Shakespeare and says, like, the fault lies not in the stars, but in ourselves. And if I was Ethan and Lisa and heard that, I'd be like, he sounds like Nostromos. Like, get him. Like, there's a new one on the loose.
No, but he was saying, don't listen to other people, believe in yourself.
I get what he was saying, but it was such a random... I was like, what is this, Spider-Man the Animated Series? Quoting Shakespeare here? Like, it was so random.
John Semper just pops in the writer's room. It's a good episode, but you're missing a Shakespearean quote.
At the end. You need it. But anyway, that is the Prophecy of Doom episode. You've seen it now, so there's an episode that you've never seen that you've finally seen. So that's at least something. Next up, our next episode is Feet of Clay Part 1, which is getting into some good stuff. The origin of Clayface. So I won't try and hype this up for myself because I haven't seen it in a while and I do enjoy Feet of Clay Part 1 and 2. But I don't know, sometimes we're kind of let down by these bigger episodes. So we'll see what happens when we get to reviewing that.